Have you ever heard of these alerts in your life? I'll be there to pick you up at 2 p.m. Thursday afternoon. Please don't be ready when I arrive. Don't be somewhere else when I get there. Your appointment is scheduled for 10 a.m. Be sure to fast overnight for 12 hours and do not eat or drink anything before you arrive. Boo! Thank you for waiting, everyone. Regular boarding is now open for Flight 9876 at Gate 1. Please have your boarding passes and photo ID ready. A classmate of mine from Newfoundland, Labrador, we would always talk about taking the ferry home at Christmas and in April at the end of the semester on Marine Atlantic. So she would always say to me, Grant, you always do the Marine Atlantic ferry boarding call so well. So I'm a little homesick. Would you mind doing that right now? Boo, boo, boo. Your attention, please. The Gulf Ferry is now ready for boarding. Passengers, please proceed to your vehicles. Thank you. And then there would be a French translation, Attention, s'il vous plaît, which I could not complete, not knowing all the French. But these are reminders and moments to be aware, to get prepared, to get ready, to ready ourselves. Being set for a go time at any time. This is the tone of, not necessarily urgency, but alertness, shall we say, of Jesus' sermons from time to time. In this morning's reading from Luke's Gospel, Jesus expresses this tone with his disciples about God's future realm and the type of discipleship our Creator is requiring of us. In the midst of his series of sermons about the kingdom of God, Jesus encourages his followers to maintain courage, to stay optimistic and prepared against the threats of decline that exist in the empire and in the world, decline in finances, decline in enthusiasm for the Christian life, and declining human resources. The church has its present-day challenges to maintain a call of faithfulness in the midst of despairing news and circumstances. But the core of Jesus' message is to stay close to the grounding teachings and to do what we can to strengthen ourselves for the Christian life. We are called to keep working on our health, to be aware and responsive to life and life-giving things all around us, and to realize and always know that Jesus is with us now. We know that maintaining the health of our mind, body, and spirit is important. Jennifer Kerr writes for CanadianLutheran.ca, and as a counselor at the Caring Place, a not-for-profit in Regina, Saskatchewan, they write these words. Have you ever been stressed and experienced muscle tension or a stomach ache? Have you ever gotten some physical exercise and felt calmer and more positive? Or received word and sacrament in a wonderful worship service and felt worry and pain melt away into the background? Proverbs 17:22 says, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." What happens in one part of the self system impacts the whole. Kerr goes on to say, even though I am a mental health counselor, I recognize that what happens in the minds or spirits of my clients affects their bodies. It is very important to realize that care for our spiritual and physical health is also care for our mental health. The systems are indivisible from one another and part of our human self, a self that is wholly created, beloved, and redeemed. These words from Kerr remind us that having a healthy mind, body, and spirit strengthens us. It helps us to have the capacity to respond to the ups and downs of life, to have the energy to engage with others and build community or support or social justice, and to care for the issues in our world that we feel strongly about. And there are places at Emmanuel right here that help strengthen us and help build our self-care toolkits. For physical strengthening, for instance, there is Take Time to Be Holy classes. We try to give and receive the support which helps build stronger mental health through programs such as Men's Club breakfasts, Tuesday morning Zoom meetings, Rainbow Hub for our younger 2S LGBTQIA+ community, and through the support of our pastoral care team and individual people reaching out to each other. We build our spiritual life through various discussion groups, reading, music, and worship. There are numerous avenues and activities, both at Emmanuel and elsewhere, where we can look for people and places to help us maintain our overall health. And in doing so, we keep our lamps lit for service as Christ did. Working on our health is one thing, but it's also important to be prepared and keep our lamps lit for service by cultivating a sense of awareness, by being present, by listening carefully. It is important to learn from the past and look with hope to the future, but it is also important to be both aware of and engaged with life in the moment, in the present, in the here and now. We can do this by being observant of news and current events, reading the United Church magazine, Broadview, which provides commentary on social and spiritual ideas, seeking out and connecting with people to keep up to date with their lives during coffee time and other social times, maintaining a consciousness of the efforts and work of our global partners, staying aware of the need to keep listening to Indigenous wisdom, being attentive to the efforts and histories of our people of color, and being present once again and welcoming our 2S LGBTQIA+ representation. Jesus calls for continuing efforts to stay observant and present and to maintain vigilant. It is cultivating a yearning to stay open and welcoming, to hear the world's and each other's stories, and to be engaged. The life of faith is indeed full of being present in the here and now. And it's not always easy to be present, to be in the here and now. Many things distract us. But we're called to pause, reflect, and feel the embrace of our Creator's peace. In addition to paying attention to our health and keeping our hearts and minds open with a sense of awareness, there is a third task suggested to us by Jesus as we respond to the call to discipleship. We are called to expect Jesus to touch our lives, to look for Him and to welcome Him. When indeed is the unexpected hour? Maybe that hour is now. And if that is the case, where do we see Jesus now? Retired American Episcopal priest Michael K. Marsh has some wisdom to share on this in a piece on his blog, Interrupting the Silence. The piece is entitled, Waiting for the Unexpected Hour, Thoughts on Luke 12, 32 through 40. Marsh offers this. Several years ago, I served as chaplain at our diocesan summer camp for a whole bunch of 11 and 12-year-old campers. Each night before the kids went to sleep, they would have some devotional time in their cabins. One of the counselors asked her campers, "Where did you see Jesus today?" A very surprised and excited camper cried out, "You mean He was here today?" Seeing Christ is about looking around us with the knowledge that He is among us. We may see Jesus in the phone call from a friend that comes up at just the right time, in the gentle, comforting touch of someone holding our hand as they sit quietly with us, in the generosity of someone offering time and energy to help us learn, in the beauty of a wondrous garden flower or a beautiful sunset. We may see Jesus as we actively listen to each other's stories, as we volunteer, as we take time to be still, to meditate, to engage in a time of prayer with one another. We just need to open ourselves to experiencing Christ's presence where we are. On Monday, my partner Brian suggested that we visit the Humanic Sanctuary and Sculpture Park on Old Montreal Road past Cumberland. He brought up their website and showed me some photos online, and I was immediately called to this place. As we walked the path, I was struck by the points and sculptures in the park that called our attention to different faith traditions, all within this outdoor natural setting where we could pause to reflect or meditate. To be present in this natural space with the opportunity to reflect on deep moments of faith and history brought me closer to the needs of my own body, my own spirit and mind. We gained some space for deeper breathing, and it was truly calming for me. I felt a spiritual presence at that park. As a community of faith, we embody this sense of God's presence for each other. We are indeed here and now as we walk with Christ. These three elements, nurturing holistic health, cultivating awareness, and living with expectation, are interconnected parts of our discipleship journey. Whenever we care for our well-being, we have the capacity to be more present and aware. When we remain silent or alert and attentive, we're most likely to see opportunities for service. Recognize that Christ is in our midst as well. And when we live with expectation, we are more likely to recognize Christ in our midst in the here and now. So friends, when it comes to discipleship, Christ calls us to be equipped, yes. Health, community, support, laughter, awareness, vigilance, observance, optimism, hope. These acts are where we need to focus our energies, especially when times are difficult or distressing. Being prepared, ready, dressed for action. They sound like imperatives, for sure, but they are also calls by Christ for us to simply be a people of faith, who we are, as we are now. People who nurture wholeness, remain aware, and live with joyful expectation. So may we indeed be found ready with our lamps lit, not out of anxiety, but instead out of love. Love for our Creator, love for one another, and love for the life we've been given to share with one another. Thanks be to God.